The scanner beeped once. A soft sound. Easy to miss. But the silence that followed felt heavy, like the air itself had stopped moving. The man at the front of the line didn't look up. He stared at the counter as if it might explain what just happened. The screen glowed between him and the cashier, bright and unforgiving, but no one said the word out loud yet. Behind him, carts rolled to a stop. Shoes shifted on the tiled floor. Someone let out a small laugh, then quickly swallowed it. The lights above hummed, steady and cold. The cashier tried again. The card slid through the machine a second time. The sound echoed farther than it should have. Declined. The laugh came this time without restraint. Sharp, public, a laugh meant to be heard. A few heads turned. A few smiles appeared where kindness should have been. The man's shoulders pulled in slightly, almost without his permission, like his body knew something his mind was still catching up to. He wore a tailored suit, clean shoes, a watch that caught the light when he moved his wrist. He looked like someone who belonged anywhere, and yet, in that moment, he didn't belong here at all. Beside him stood a little girl. She was quiet, holding his hand with both of hers, her thumb rubbing slow circles against his skin. She looked up at his face, searching for something he didn't give her, not reassurance, not anger, just silence. No one in that store knew him. They didn't know his name. They didn't know the buildings that carried it. To them, he was just another man whose card had failed. The cashier tilted her head, still smiling, and said something about payment methods. The words blurred together. The man nodded once, his eyes fixed on the groceries now trapped on the belt between him and everyone watching. People leaned forward. Curiosity is loud when it thinks no one will call it out. The little girl let go of his hand. He felt it immediately, the sudden absence, but before he could look down, she had already reached into her pocket. Her movements were slow and careful, like she was afraid the moment might break if she rushed it. She pulled out a few bills, folded so many times the edges were soft, and some coins that clinked gently against each other. She studied them for a second, then she stepped closer to the counter. Her arm barely reached. "I can help," she said. Her voice wasn't brave, it wasn't loud, it was simply honest. She placed the money down, smoothing it flat with the palm of her hand. The coins rolled slightly before settling. The sound felt bigger than the laugh had been. The store went quiet again, but this silence was different. It didn't push down, it pulled people in. The man's breath caught. He turned fully toward her now, seeing her not as a child beside him but as something else entirely. Something steady, something clear. His name was Alexander Grant. Outside that store, his life was defined by numbers too large to feel real. Contracts, deadlines, decisions that never waited for emotion. He had learned early that hesitation looked like weakness, and weakness cost you everything. So he had built walls, clean ones, polished ones. And now a child had stepped through them without effort. "You don't need to do that," he said softly, kneeling beside her. His voice cracked in a way it hadn't in years. She shrugged like the answer was obvious. "You looked sad," she said, "and I had some." That was all. No lesson, no speech, just a simple truth. Around them, faces changed. Smiles fell away. Someone cleared their throat again, this time with shame behind it. The cashier's eyes dropped to the counter, then back to the little girl's money, her laughter gone completely. Alexander felt something loosen inside his chest. Not relief, something deeper, something heavier. He thanked the girl, his words slow and careful, like he was learning how to speak again. When the groceries were finally bagged, he paid another way, quietly, without looking around. Outside, the air felt different, cooler, cleaner. The black car waited at the curb, engine running, door ready to open. He looked at it, then back at the girl. "Can I walk you home?" he asked. She nodded, already turning toward the sidewalk. Her neighborhood was small. The houses leaned slightly with age, paint peeled, curtains moved when they passed. Life here wasn't loud, but it was full of effort, full of waiting. Her home smelled like something warm cooking and clean clothes folded too many times. Her mother looked surprised when she opened the door, then smiled anyway. She didn't ask who he was. She just welcomed him in, the way people do when kindness is normal. That night, Alexander didn't sleep. He lay awake, staring at the ceiling of a room too large to feel comforting, replaying the sound of coins on a counter. The way a small hand had smoothed wrinkled bills flat as if care alone could make them enough. For years, he had believed that worth came from being untouchable, from never needing help, but that belief had left him alone in ways he had learned not to notice. By morning, something inside him had shifted, quietly, permanently. The changes didn't arrive with announcements, they arrived in moments. A grocery bill paid for someone who didn't expect it. A roof repaired before the next storm. A scholarship offered without cameras. And Alexander was there, not above it, not behind it, there, walking store aisles, sitting at kitchen tables, listening more than he spoke. People were cautious at first. Kindness from power often comes with conditions, but he stayed, he showed up again, he learned names, he learned stories. And sometimes he saw a little girl in a purple shirt walking beside her mother, her steps light, her pockets empty, her heart still full. He made sure her life opened gently, with opportunity, with dignity, without turning her kindness into a headline. Years later, when people spoke of Alexander Grant, they didn't mention buildings or money. They spoke of a day in a grocery store, of a moment when laughter stopped, of a child who gave without knowing why it mattered. His true legacy wasn't something you could see from a distance. It lived in quiet choices, in softened hearts, in the spaces where kindness had room to grow. If this story stayed with you, take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who might need a reminder of what really matters, and subscribe for more stories told softly with care. Before you go, leave a comment with one word that you felt while listening.